Right, very good evening. Welcome back. 3 hours of live TV, nearly the first hour through. Yep. Where did that go? Now, this is... I saw this on... I think I saw it on Twitter is where I saw it. Brendan Kavanagh, who is a pianist, plays Boogie Woogie, which I particularly like, was in St Pancras the other day. And there's been a piano there for a while, and he thought, I'm going in and I'm going to actually play a bit of music.
He does it all the time.
This is what happened. Have a look at this.
I'm surrounded by security.
Carry on, carry on.
I think I'm in trouble.
Carry on, carry on.
I think I'm in trouble.
I'm saying to you, you continue. You continue. I just said to you, do you not allow to touch it in the police?
I'm taking it. Oh, you're from the police as well?
No, we're the you got an audience. I
Hello.
think you say.
How many we got? Hello.
You don't say.
How come some of these security guards are so bloody thick and stupid?
Well, they all are.
Brendan, welcome to the programme.
Thank you, James.
I love your playing, and they
not the
loved it
Steve
as
Wright
well.
show.
Yeah, stop it. I just thought they're never there to catch shoplifters. 7 around you, and you're just entertaining people walking past, and they're quite rude. And then that police lady came up. And what was she going to do? I've no idea. And the other policeman, the cops always stand like this, don't they? There are criminals to catch.
What you should have done is put a Palestinian flag on, and then they'd have left it alone, the police.
Good point.
A little tasteless, don't you think? So, what did they say to you when you were playing? I mean, one of them tried slapping the piano on your fingers, didn't
Yeah,
he?
Assaulted you.
It was a comedy of errors. You know what I mean, basically, the piano was faced in the wrong angle. I had moved it slightly, and it was not according to regulations because I had 2 old ladies who wanted to see it a bit better, so I moved it a bit. Now, there was no sign saying you can't move it, but I did move it, and I think that was what the problem was. I moved it without permission. So
can you imagine if it hurt your fingers? Because you make a lot of money from your YouTube, and you could have sued them for that.
I know. I mean, the first guy came up. They always do that. The old slamming the piano on your the lid on your fingers.
They always do that.
They're liable for the damages, then, which is significant in your
and
case.
they could just be done for a
Well, actually, when the first guy was doing it, he did that. I think he was Turkish or something. He did that, and there was a.
Are your fingers insured? You should do.
No,
that.
they're not.
Well, you should, because then they take on the case as well.
Okay, good point. I will take that on board.
Was that the property of a shop who didn't like you playing it because they left it there for all the superstars to come?
No, not at all. I mean, that is a public piano. I mean, as I said, the whole purpose of the whole.
There's about 5 of them around there.
There's about 5 of them, you know, but the bone of contention was that I had moved it slightly. That was the whole bone of contention.
For the audience.
For the audience.
Because you get an audience, you advertise on YouTube.
Well,
so you bring footfall into the
I absolutely do. I mean, we've got over 2 million followers. We've got about 30 million views a month. So we're a big channel. But they didn't like the fact that I had moved it round so that people could see it. And they just got overexcited, you know. They got overexcited.
When you said, no, I'm not moving, and you carried on playing and everybody was enjoying it, did they get harder with you than we saw or not?
Well, they did. I mean, you see the first guy up there, the guy that looks like the ninja, he was the one that was really, he grabbed my hands, and we could have had a little bit of bopping on the floor if I had been resistant, but because I'm quite compliant, it didn't actually get that far. But if I had been a little bit more hot-headed, we could have been bopping around on the floor and with the flying squad, you know.
Have you got any future problems?
I suggest you don't do that, Brendan, because that could.
If they apologise?
No, they haven't apologised. But look, I'm cool with it. You know, I'm cool.
What did the police lady say, who was talking to you there now?
Well, she came in with such a beautiful smile.
Yeah, she did.
And with such a great attitude that immediately the whole problem went away. I mean, look at the smile on that girl's face.
When are you meeting her next?
I'm meeting her next week, James, but just keep it on the.
Was it a real policewoman or was it
no,
PCSO?
she's actually a PCSO, but to be honest, her attitude was so good. She actually played the piano as well. She actually played a few tunes.
I mean, look at these two now. I mean, I want to be so flipping rude about them because we've got so much shoplifting going on. There must be something more intelligent.
Did you ask why they
to employ, or some people, than these idiots? Or have they been told by their boss to go and stop you? And if they have, What's their boss's name?
Well,
what's the company?
Well, what for? What reason?
Well, I tell you what's going on. I'm in the station quite a lot, and what you see, there's a lot of nutters in the station who go there on a regular basis, drunks and everything. They are always the security ignore them.
I told you.
Well, no, but I like looking around the shops
hassle.
when I've had a few. Don't I? Love it, and it's nice.
But you see, because they pick the people who are quite polite and compliant. They know I'm not a nutter. They know I'm going to comply.
It's the two-tier policing again.
Now you go. So they know I'm not going to. So they see an issue. They have been bored all day. They can use their walkie-talkies. They can kind of think they're in the SAS, and they kind of get off. They have a little ego trip.
They let you play one song. You should have done like a 30-minute Pink Floyd number.
When are you going back?
Well, I was there today, actually.
Oh, were
James.
you?
I was there today. I went back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah.
And
did you move the piano?
That particular piano wasn't there today, but I rarely actually have problems. I think just at Christmas people get overexcited, and they've been given a new uniform with lots of technology, and I think they wanted to use it, and get on the walkie-talkies and feel like they were important.
Do you get recognised a lot, and are you, because you're in here more or less in disguise?
That's how you is always.
I'm always like this, James.
You got your short trousers on. They're like Rishi Sunak short trousers.
Yeah, look, you can't see it.
Norman Wisdom trousers.
Norman Wisdom. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he wore them.
He always wore those. Yeah. So, I mean, are you frightened of getting in there, and as soon as they see you,
no, it's not. It's not like that at all. Yeah. I mean, it's just I think at Christmas there's a heightened atmosphere of tension. But I tend to. I don't like petty rules and stupid rules, and so if somebody comes over with an attitude. If somebody comes over with an attitude and it's a stupid rule, I tend to ignore them, and there's an ego trip going on. Exactly. They go on the phone, they get security.
They got a uniform on. It's a psychological thing.
Now you're talking.
You have a uniform, you basically become, a tin.
Well, now you're talking. Some people do. I think we shouldn't.
I do. When I put a uniform on,
let's face it, our armed forces are doing a great job.
You've had some famous celebrities come and play with you, haven't you, down there?
Well, yeah. There's lots of them. I mean, last week we had Alicia Keys was down there. I just missed her actually by about 5 minutes.
Alicia Keys.
We had Jules Holland and Rod Stewart coming down.
Yeah.
Rod
Stewart.
I don't know where they're getting the idea to come down and perform in the station from, though. But
no, I'm sure you don't.
No, but don't they come in with you and play with you?
They don't play. Look, I'm an outsider. Look, I'm an outsider. I'm not part of the establishment. I'm on YouTube. Even though I get more views than the BBC. I'm an outsider. I'm not in the establishment. But you know what? YouTube is taking over now from the mainstream, and so as I said, we get about 30-40 million views a month, and people love the kind of guerrilla warfare piano that I do.
That is so true.
And we're rocking, baby.
Yeah.
This has probably been very good publicity.
It is. Yeah,
we get huge audience on YouTube and various other social media. People and I'm great, they're watching us live and phoning in, and that's brilliant. Yeah. But the vast majority of people who watch the show watch it online.
Yeah.
And sometimes at different times of day.
And also what you notice is the younger generation have moved away from terrestrial TV.
So as I even have. I've joined the youth.
Really?
I don't watch linear TV anymore.
You're 60 years old.
I know. That is now the youth.
No, but you know what? You see, the thing is, like, we grew up with the BBC and ITV.
It's pretty rubbish now, isn't it?
Well, I don't even have a television, But every young person that I know now doesn't watch TV. They watch YouTube. So YouTube has taken over. People don't know who Jules Holland is, but they know who I am. The youngsters, that is.
Yeah, of course.
People under a certain age.
I did. I knew you were.
Can we show a bit of Brendan playing again? Because
you're right.
It's a shame we didn't bring a piano in.
Yeah, where's the piano trains? Get it in. The BBC have one.
We had one yesterday.
Well, we like to do our TV show, radio show from a radio studio.
Cool.
And there are pianos in other studios around the building, but we like this kind of atmosphere, don't we?
Yeah.
It's quite nice. We're going to show this. This is great. This is you playing a bit more boogie woogie.
All right. I'm surrounded by security.
Carry on.
I think I'm in trouble.
Carry on. Carry on.
I think I'm in trouble.
I'm saying to you, you continue. You continue. I just said to you, do you not allow the touch to the police?
Come on, let them.
Oh, you're from the police as well?
No, we're in the different. You got an audience.
Hello. Haven't even got.
You don't say.
I don't suppose you were surprised it went viral, that clip?
Well, to be honest, most of our clips go viral. I mean, I don't go in looking for trouble, but there's something about the danger of playing in an unauthorized way that really attracts the social media audience. You know, it's an
guerrilla penis.
It's absolutely. I mean, it's an uncontrolled environment. We're not in a controlled environment. And so, for example, when Jules Holland and Rod Stewart went down there last week, it was very controlled. They put their video on YouTube. It didn't get many views.
But they didn't get manhandled.
They didn't. Do you play normally as well? I mean, are there places people could go and see you in clubs, in restaurants?
No, I don't play I don't play clubs and restaurants. I mean, basically,
good place in London, the Pizza Express.
Yeah, but he make a lot much better living doing YouTube. You know, you couldn't afford the pay cut.
I couldn't afford I couldn't. You know,
I think you do very well, don't you?
I do very well.
How much do you make?
How many followers you got?
I make nearly seven figures a year.
Right, so a million.
Right, I think we're going to have to do some.
Although
of that
Inland Revenue might be watching, so I make very, very little.
Yeah,
yeah.
He means shekels.
And they call. If you want to look for him on social media, it's Dr. K.
Yeah, the letter K. Look at Dr. K. Boogie Woogie. The letter K. So Dr. K.
Yeah. What did you do before then?
Well, I'm actually an academic. I came from I was a teacher. Yeah, I've got a PhD.
In what? Teaching what?
English and Latin.
God, I bet you're glad you do this now, then.
I really enjoyed teaching until it all went down the tubes. You know,
well, that's a good story because, you know, teaching seems to me we've got people coming out into the world who don't even know who Rod Stewart is, and people come out and seem not to be as well educated as they used to be. Go to university, because it seems everybody could get into university now.
Well, absolutely. I mean, degrees, for example, are 10 a penny. You know, I mean, back in the 80s and before, you know, a degree was something special. Now, if everyone's got a degree, they're not important. So, and also what you notice today with these security guards is they are rule followers. They can't think laterally. You must obey the rules. And
automatons.
All absolute robots. Automatons. And I think education is producing a lot of automatons. You know,
you're
obey the rules.
With your long words again, aren't you?
I don't know what he's talking about.
Impress him, really. That's really embarrassing.
So did you go to a private school, grammar school?
No, I went to a Catholic boys' school in North London, St Aloysius, and then I went to university. I did a PhD in Ireland in Irish literature. And when I started teaching had completely changed, and you can't be creative in teaching anymore. You have to do lesson plans, Ofsted. Now you're talking about it. And as you can see,
Latin, amazing.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, they should bring back Latin, you know. I love Latin.
What's love?
Amo massa mat.
Am I warrant?
Amo massa mat. Yeah, that's the past tense. Good.
Past conjunctive.
Now you're talking.
Just before we wind up, you played in some bands as well, haven't you?
I did, yeah. I mean, I've been playing in bands since I was about 16, right? So I used to play in the Irish circuit around London when I was at school. I used to play in all the Irish clubs. Yeah. I played the piano accordion, so I come from an Irish background. But you know, I went into teaching. I loved academics, but then I got out of teaching. I got into YouTube. The videos started taking off, and now I'm a megastar on YouTube.
You make more money than most pop stars. I mean, not the very top ones, but the vast majority, you'll be doing better than them.
I am, yeah.
About $1 million a year.
You must.
Don't tell the Inland Revenue.
I told you that in confidence, baby.
Don't tell him anything in confidence.
He said 7 figures, so it's got to be at least that.
All right, we're getting there. I've got a lot of expenses, though.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's what you tell the Inland Revenue. Yeah. The pianos don't come cheap.
Sorry, Brendan, I'm very, very sorry.
He's got books out.
What? You're making him more money. You're going to chase.
You said you got some book. Chuck said you got books out.
Well, I haven't got.
He hasn't got any books out.
I haven't got any books out. You know, I used to sell my.
Chuck says you're lying. Says you've got a book out.
Well, no, I actually was going to get a CD. I need to actually work on my merchandise. You know, I need to get out the books.
He needs to work on his merchandise.
I need to work on my merchandise. I definitely do.
He's told you had a book out.
You and Chuck, stop it now, because Brendan's getting a little bit upset about this.
He's got his research wrong. You know, people need to do their research a bit better.
Well, Johnny, who's been researching this, is going to get a real thick ear from me.
He's already got quite thick ears.
He has actually, hasn't he? Yeah. The fact is, though, that the Boogie Woogie is just great for everybody. Puts everybody in a really happy, good mood.
He's got a great rhythm. That's the thing. It's a natural.
I mean, you actually notice it in the station, you know, because you know, Londoners are not an easy crowd to play for. They are, particularly, you know, 10 o'clock on a Monday morning, which is sometimes when I play. And you notice
You've got to stop and watch that, you know.
Well, you just notice their footsteps actually change.
You play classical stuff and all kinds of things.
I do, yeah. I do.
Brendan, it's been fascinating meeting you.
James.
I would like to invite you back in.
Yeah, get a piano next time, baby.
That's
get
all
it
right,
next time.
man.
Come on, the BBC have one, you get one.
Well, we've got a few around it. We could just have brought one up.
And make sure it's a real one. Don't get an electronic one.
No, okay, we'll get a real piano. He wants
those
Clavinova
ones are quite good, aren't they? Not
yeah,
really.
but it's not. You know.
As they argue about what piano they should play. Thank you very much indeed. We will be talking a bit about Gary Lineker when we come back.